What's up? I'm doing something off camera. So I hope that you guys can appreciate that. And I will be on camera momentarily. EA Sports. It's in the game. See, I'll give you a little freebie. I'll give you a freebie. Freebie. Boing. What's up? What's up? Oh, let me lighten my background here. See if this helps. Kip Smith in the house, Dr. Nova, Queen on. We got some all-stars in the stream. It's been a while. A hot minute, if you will, that I've done a stream this early. Lois has not coughed very much in the last, 36 to 48 hours. So that makes me very happy because, sometimes it can worry me. But we are here. I mean, you're coming in a little hot. Tell me a story. What am I, a monkey bouncing a ball on my nose? Let me warm up first, baby doll. I mean, me and her mama do a very good job of taking. Yeah, I know, I understand. But it is very interesting. Thank you, Random. That the numbers are much better at 1 to 3 in the morning my time. And I see the trolls are here too as well. We welcome all trolls. So, TM, welcome aboard. Just hit the like and subscribe button. It's all right, Rational. I mean, I really only have one Tarantino story. So, and that was basically one night I'm in the original room. Did you get more super chat money? I mean, I think last night I got like $70 or something. It's not going to break the bank, but, if you could get that every day, it adds up. Earl for president, I don't know about that. The ex-girlfriends would come out of the woodwork for that one. And there's plenty of them. So I'm in the original room one night, and it's pretty full. See who walks into the room, because there's two ways. There's in the corner where the cover booth is, where people pay, and then there's the back way, which you can directly see on stage. And one night, I saw Tarantino walk in, and I'm doing well. I'm not killing, but I'm doing well. And so I just started doing Django Unchained jokes, which didn't fit with the rest of the set I was doing, and no one was laughing but him. And then he came up to me afterward and said, "You're fantastic." Yes, lightning coming on, Ryan. How's your uncle? Isn't that old British slang or something? I don't know about that. Which uncle? I have plenty of uncles. Bob's your uncle. Lightning are looking good. Kings are looking good. They came back last night. Don't worry about it, Kip Smith. What's your favorite Tarantino film? I'm not a huge Tarantino fan. My ex loved him. But I don't know. I guess Pulp Fiction. And I don't even love that, to be honest with you. But I mean, I loved how he did the original Inglorious Bastards. I loved that one. The first one, like the original one, was a big deal to me as a kid. And I think we're around the same age. So, like I saw something that he was a big fan of Dirty Harry. Waiver, $2. Hi, Earl. Hello, Waiver. I think we like the same kind of films, so I wouldn't mind if he kind of remade a Dirty Harry, although it would be interesting to see who could take up the Dirty Harry franchise. I mean, Clint Eastwood's way too old to play Dirty Harry now, but I was just watching Magnum Force. Man, that's a great movie. David Soul and Robert Urich as the bad cops. Tim Matheson as well. So, yeah, we've got the New Beverly Theater. I just drove by it a couple hours ago. They always have like classic movies and whatnot. So I haven't been yet. I don't go to a lot of movies anymore, which makes me sad because, going to movies was so iconic to me when I was a kid, and even probably from 20 to 30, I went to a lot of movies. And then right around 30, I started doing comedy, so I just went to movies a lot less. But I did enjoy the last movie I saw, which was the original Alien in a theater. It was very cool to see that and the big screen. A lot scarier in a theater than it was. I would agree with that. Movies do suck nowadays. There's just no, I don't know. You don't see them. It's all CGI and special effects. Like that was one of the great things about the Terminator movie. You know, don't be a dick roll. Oh, sorry. Sam Tripoli, but Maria's great too. RoboCop. Even Predator was. The special effects. It almost Predator feels like you're watching a fucking documentary. It doesn't feel like. I checked out of movies when I saw the Fast and Furious, and they ended up in space. It's like, come on, man. I can't. No. So I think the movie, Cobra, virtually no special effects. Commando, Raw Deal, Over the Top. I just love movies that don't rely on special effects. Yeah, I mean, the first RoboCop, because there was a remake a couple years ago. Did you ever meet the villain from RoboCop? Kurtwood Smith or Ronnie Cox? I have not. I did meet Miguel Ferrer, who is the guy who gets blown up with the two girls doing coke. Bloodsport, great movie. Yeah, I just love Stick Around. So, bitches leave. What'd he call us? They don't make a movie like that anymore. So, I mean, for me anyway, movies, I like less special effects. Like the last Creed movie I saw, I guess it was Creed 2 when he fights the Russian. It just looked like a video game. I mean, the fight scenes I felt like I was playing a video game. So, and I didn't like the Top Gun Maverick. It was a good movie if there was no Top Gun ever. Oh, this movie's pretty good. But the first one was just so good. Yeah, a lot of recycled ideas. I mean, very few original ideas. I mean, maybe the last original idea in a movie was the Blair Witch Project, That was kind of innovative for what it was. Yes, Lois is coughing. She's just chilling right now. She's chilling. Whoa, Jason Bentley, $9.99. No, not RoboCop from WCW. Bentley in the house. Hello. I'm talking this RoboCop, baby. Move it, creep. There's Lois. She be chilling in her bed. Lois, you be chilling. So yeah, I mean, I just don't. Well, the key thing about RoboCop was it was basically made for no fucking money. Um, Terminator had I think it was a $6 million budget, which back then was like kind of a lot of money. And the same thing with like the original Bad News Bears. Those kids weren't even actors. I think they were just kids they found playing Little League and said, "Hey, do you want to be in a movie?" And then when you watched the remake with Billy Bob Thornton, it was like those were child actors. Well, the funny thing is, he wasn't even the original choice to play RoboCop. The only reason he got RoboCop was because Michael Ironside couldn't fit into the costume, and they had such a low budget. Like literally every dollar was stretched that they were like, "Hey, who's a little smaller than Ironside? We're not remaking this shit. What up, Anna?" Yeah, I mean, if you watch RoboCop, it really was kind of, the even the game show where the guy's like, "I'll buy that for $1." It's just showcasing how most game shows have horrors on them, and um, can you fly, Bobby? Terrence, no. James Bentley, $9.99. Sorry. Yeah, that's him. He helped Sting against the Horseman. That is. And he helped Sting. I liked it. If you watch when the Four Horsemen were struggling to, only in wrestling would this happen. I don't think anyone realized that, from the ramp to the cage Sting was in, it's going to take RoboCop a few minutes to get down there. And the only one that kind of stayed in character and, like doing improv until like he got to the cage was this man. Now, you guys should thank Bentley for being so fucking generous. Because of Bentley has put me in a good mood. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't do these streams for money. I really don't. If I did, I would have quit a long time ago. I'm doing this to build a fan base so you guys eventually will want to come see me, whether it be at the Comedy Store, I'm on the road in your town, but here we go. A word-for-word impression on Sid's first promo as a member of the Four Horsemen. RoboCop, I'm 6'9", 320 pounds. I am the real Man of Steel in the NWA, and you better learn to like it. EA Sports, it's in the game. I give you some free impressions. Fuck yeah. This is Sid in his SummerSlam special guest referee costume there. And here's my Eric Bischoff doll I got at the Ric Flair roast. So, yeah, I mean, I loved Sid in the Four Horsemen, but it didn't really work out. It's unfortunate. Yeah, so what's the voiceover for Sega Sports? Maybe I'll do that one. I'm just trying to make some money, honey. I'm trying to get EA Sports to sponsor me. I should be the new voice of EA Sports. I loved video games as a kid. Well, it was so funny, though, just finishing up on RoboCop. You would have thought that someone in WCW would have, or the NWA at the time, would have said, "Hey, we got to map this out because it's going to take RoboCop, from the minute he walks out to get to Sting in the cage, it's going to take him a few minutes." And the way they mapped it out was it would take them like under a minute, and you could tell they were like kind of stalling for time. It reminded me when I went to WrestleMania 39, And this was when, who was it? Edge was fighting, I think, Finn Balor. They're doing the match, and they do a stunt that went wrong, and you've seen the picture probably, I'm assuming, but there was a gash in Finn Balor's head from probably here to here. So they literally, this shows you how cold-blooded WWE is. I don't know what they told him. Hey, motherfucker, we got to finish this match, so we're going to sew you up right now. And so it was interesting to see Edge stall for time while they were working on Finn Balor. Like Edge was acting like he was trying to find something under the ring, and oh shit, dazed with Jordan the Lion. Jordan is seeing the picture this Saturday at the Comedy Store. I had to conduct some business with the Hurt Syndicate, and I am now proud to announce that due to my alliance with MVP, I am the first white member of the Hurt Syndicate. Hello! Check my Instagram at Earl Skakel for the picture. Yes, I am going. Thank you to MVP for arranging that. And I might even go to the Dynamite in Oceanside, which Jordan knows LA. Oceanside does not seem like a good place to have a wrestling match, but what do I know? MVP asked me if I wanted one of the yellow Hurt Syndicate shirts. They're not for sale yet, I think. And I had to decline because, in black, I could hide my stomach. Yellow, it all hangs out, baby doll. And even though I have a great body for 56, I got a bit of a belly sometimes. Yeah, MVP is fucking awesome. I mean, he was like a little kid. Like what wrestling is to me, stand-up comedy is to him. And, to someone like MVP, the Comedy Store is like, Madison Square Garden for wrestling. So, well, I mean, I'm trying to figure out the arena they would use in Oceanside. I mean, it's got to be a college auditorium or something, but, probably, I did not get a haircut. I just didn't brush it today. I'm not as well coiffed as I usually am. What up? What up, Sudbury? Every now and then I like to test the waters and see what going on earlier would be like. And it's funny, the streams that I start anywhere from 1 to 2 to 3 a.m. get anywhere from 50 to 100 people. Earlier, not so much. So, it's just hard sometimes to, stay up that late and go, okay, I want to do it. I mean, the other night I did a 2.5 hour stream. I think I started at 2 a.m. my time. Would you go to Double or Nothing in Arizona? I mean, if I was compensated with tickets, and I would probably drive, and that's a rough drive, man. The Vegas drive is, if you don't hit traffic, is tolerable, but Arizona's, like, it's not that far from where I live. On paper, you go, oh, it's pretty close, but it's a tough drive, to be honest with you. Yeah. The only problem with doing the late night streams is that the fucking trolls come in and, I'm in a great mood. I love my life, to be honest with you. I mean, do I wish I was more successful? 100%. But a Big Bill is very fucking funny. So, but the trolls is just constant. You're ugly, you're old, you're this, you're that. And like, I'm very happy with how I look for my age, but it's just like, what am I fucking doing this for? Fuck these guys. What's more torturous, watching CM Punk or Wheeler Yuta talk? I like Wheeler Yuta if he doesn't talk. Like, he's got the new hairstyle, like, EA Sports. It's in the game. That's a freebie for you. That's a freebie for you. No one's funnier than RJ City. But I've never seen RJ City do stand-up. Big Bill's fucking funny, man. I put him on one night at Potluck at the Comedy Store. And, to myself, I'm like, Jesus, this isn't going to go very well. I mean, because Potluck is different than, like, say, when Jordan saw it, 10, 15 years ago when pretty much anybody could get on. Now it's a little more structured, and you have to be pretty funny to get on it. I would love to be on RJ City's show. I mean, tweet at him or Instagram him, Jordan. Yeah, I heard you eat corn the long way. Well, yeah, but you weren't even really a comic, Jordan. But so that kind of, but now it's more comedy based. And Bill had the funniest set. Granted it's only 3 minutes, but and he felt so good. He's like, Earl, I want to do another show, and I was like, okay. I can take you to this place called Third Wheel, which is in the fucking ghetto. It's an underground comedy club. And he's like, let's do it. And he had his wife with him, Lexi. And so I take Big Bill to Third Wheel. Now, Big Bill is a legit 7 feet or whatever he is. He's a fucking huge guy. He could barely fit in my Jeep. I mean, I could barely fit in my Jeep. And he's a foot taller than me. And Lexi's in the back. So we go to Third Wheel. And I got to be honest with you. He was the funniest guy there. I know it really is too early for me. I have too much energy. And Lexi wouldn't leave my side at Third Wheel because there's some characters there. And then I go to drop him off. Olivia, she made an impression on me and my mattress. Hello, and what happened to her? Can't even get on a fucking lineup. The grass ain't greener. And with CB, and if you know who CB is, you know. If you don't, I'm alive and well. Where am I? So then me and Big Bill, he wanted to get some drinks and stuff, like Gatorade for, I don't know, the night. And me and Big Bill, Jordan will know where this is. I'm with you there, Ryan. The 7-Eleven on Cahuenga, where's that? I don't know, Cahuenga and Yucca. And me and Big Bill walk in there, and I think the guy behind the counter thought we were going to rob the place. Well, Ryan Williams, if you don't like how I talk, then get the fuck out of the stream. I bet you'll be here for the whole hour, too. Ain't that a bit? I'm straight edge, baby doll. You guys love the gay stuff, man. Anyone who comes into a guy's stream and starts saying you're gay is probably gay themselves, to be frank, Ryan. But hit the subscribe button. How are you doing, man? You okay, man? I'm okay, man. How are you, Rotten Apple? I do have a baritone. Don't let this technological terror be confused with the power of the Force. A little Darth Vader on the free for you. Yeah, we don't do trolling in here, but I let you guys speak your piece. Okay, then never mind, Rotten Apple. Aristotle, boing! Uh-oh, we got a message hell for review. But you do look gay, though. Well, I'll take that. Most gay guys are pretty good looking. Okay, I mean, Ryan, as long as you put it that way, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, no all caps, guys. Only one person. Not even Jordan gets the all caps privileges in here. It's reserved for Peter Chicken Man Brennan. Well, I don't. In AEW, anything's possible. I could see AEW doing that as a goof, like a throwback. No, we don't tell people to shut up in here. You don't look gay at all, bro. Get that guy out of here, man. I mean, most gay guys are pretty good looking, so I don't mind someone saying I'm gay. Yeah, I know. Let's all, you guys ask me, hey, Earl, how can we help you if we don't want to give you, your nose is short and straight. My nose is anything but short. Trust me on that one. I got a big nose, but it looks normal size because I have a big head. What's this channel about? I have no idea, to be honest with you. That's a good question. Did a gay angle with Triple H and Kurt Angle. It wouldn't be done today. Well, AEW is kind of doing a gay angle. Jesus, Ryan. We don't do the gay stuff in here, Ryan. No. Well, thank you, Rotten Apple. You know, a lot of people don't like this channel because, you know, they're like, well, this channel's not funny. Well, it's not a stand-up channel. I mean, I'm a stand-up comic, but you know, it's I'm not going to do jokes for free. You know, I want you guys to go, hey, this guy's funny. He just talks. Let's see what his comedy is about. We'll go to the comedy store, or if he's playing where I live. MXM. What happened? I thought you liked the trolls. I mean, you know, trolls are give and take. You know, they allow for dialogue and conversation, but you know, when they just say you're ugly, what up, Johnny, or you're old, you know, it doesn't like it's not a fun. You know, I don't know what you guys look like for the most part, so I can't really go back and forth with you, and it just. Um, thank you, Black and Blue. So the trolls don't really add a lot, and then when I talk to them, they get upset because most trolls, you know, they want attention, but then when you give it to them, they're like, "See, I got you." It's like, well, that's what you wanted. We don't do Aristotle. We don't do the all caps in here. Lois is tired; she's just sleeping. Um, but AEW is kind of doing a semi-gay tag team in Ring of Honor with MXM Collection, and it's funny because both guys are married. Um, I love no MXM Collection is Mansoor and fuck I forget the Mason, and they're really funny and both married in real life, so they're not gay. It's just a character. Um, well, I mean, am I the best looking guy in the world? You know, I'm probably not going to be a male model, but you know, there's worse looking. Um, be there, oh, well, they kind of have Rico as their manager, but I would fucking love to be their manager. But you know, maybe a few more times. I mean, me and MVP got into a deep conversation in the parking lot about wrestling and what I like about it, and he just looks at me at the end of the night. He goes, "You know your shit, player." And the best thing about MVP, he had called me about 11:30 p.m. and I was about to go to the comedy store. I was going on about 12:15. He's like, "Hey, I'm in town. Can I come watch?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah!" And I sent Danny the Hurt Syndicate's theme, so I had on a Hurt Syndicate shirt. And when I walked out, Danny, the sound guy, played. He played the Hurt Syndicate's theme song, and you know, I could hear MVP laughing. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Um, Ryan, you are you coming out of the closet in my stream? Welcome aboard. Oh, 100%. And then MVP is like, "Do you want to come to the pay per view? I'll get you backstage, introduce you to everyone." I'm like, "Yeah, but I know how to behave." I'm like, you know, I play it cool, MVP. I mean, I might mark out if I meet, you know, MXM Collection. Now I'm bummed. Maybe Jordan and a few others know this. Elias filmed an amazing promo with the Righteous for Ring of Honor, and then I guess he signed with TNA. So that promo might be the only time you ever see it. And that's the perfect pairing for Elias to be with the Righteous. But I don't know. Oh, I mean, if I get to meet Sting, it's game over. You know, but you know, I don't want. You know, I told MVP I know how to act. What would you say if if I met Sting? I mean, that's tough. That's like asking someone, "What's the first thing you'd buy if you won the Powerball?" It's like, geez, I don't know. You know, think a car, a house, or maybe just a fucking dope shirt from AEW. I'd probably just say, "Hey, man, you're my favorite wrestler. Thank you for your the years of abusing your body for an idiot like me to enjoy it." And have you ever squashed the beef with RoboCop? And, you know, I'd go in for a joke. And he'd probably just stare at me, go, "MVP, get this fucking guy out of my face." Um, so, yeah, 100%. I do get a little excited when I meet the celebs. Ryan, we don't do the gay stuff in here, you know. But you're more than welcome to hit the like button. Would you make up with Jeff Ross or Callan in order to meet Sting? Absolutely not. No way. There's nothing on earth that would make me ever be cool with Jeff Ross again. And Callan, he's just another scummy comic. Um, so, Ever met Ozzy? I've been in Ozzy Osbourne's house. Early 2000s. Marjorie, that's a cause for being banned. Saying that about Sting. I was dating the one of the managers for Motorhead, and for I believe Ozzy Osbourne's daughter Amy. It was her 18th birthday, so at their house in Malibu, they had a huge party, fireworks and whatnot. And as I'm in the kitchen, I don't know, eating something. I think I was just eating a sandwich by myself. Ozzy comes down the stairs, opens up the refrigerator. He must have taken about 6 Diet Cokes. I'm not kidding. Looks at me with, hello, and then just walked up the stairs. He didn't look too good. And that's early 2000s. Now, I've been thinking about going to the UK for the final Black Sabbath show because Jake E. Lee will be in attendance. But I don't think Ozzy's going to make it to July. So I'm going to hold off on plane tickets. Yeah, Luger. I mean, you know who should be in the Hall of Fame before Luger? Sid. I'm doing good, Janine. I'm doing good. Yeah, Marjorie. We don't badmouth Sting in here. We don't do that. Jakey Lee is. I can't imagine how they got him to agree to do that show because him and the Osbournes aren't exactly on good terms, if you know what I'm saying. Definitely Asylum. A lot of people don't know this. No. I mean, Piven never really did anything to me. I mean, he just got Me Too'd out of Hollywood. I'm like, why the fuck is this guy coming into my world? So, right, the gay stuff is really out of control. Yes, respect Sting and Warrior, or you will be banned from this stream forever. I'll get you kicked off of YouTube. It really is. I mean, like I said, that his daughter. Someone could probably look this up on the internet. Amy, 18, she's probably maybe 2002, 2003, and he looked awful then. I mean, he could barely open the refrigerator. And he acted like those 6 Diet Cokes were like 400-pound dumbbells. And he was probably a little weirded out seeing some dude in his kitchen he'd never met before. Can we see Lois sleeping? Not right now. Not right now. She needs her rest. Well, no, SCV. I will tell you that story because I don't talk about it a lot. So I'm in the kitchen. I think it was after roast battle one night. Now Joe had a stalker, some suicide girl, who would always show up if Joe did roast battle. Not he judged it or whatever. So Joe had stopped going upstairs to roast battle because he didn't want to deal with this girl. So usually on roast battle nights, Joe would hang in the kitchen. This is really before the back VIP bar was available. And, he was a horrible wrestler. But let me get through this Joe Rogan story. I had the best moderators in the business. But if one of them leaves Rotten Apple, we'll revisit that. No, Joe Rogan. So we're talking about my ACL injury. Joe Love. You want to get in with Joe? Don't talk about UFC or comedy with him. Talk about something that's like just different. And I don't know how we got on the subject, but I was telling him about the rehab for my ACL, and we had a really nice 5-10 minute conversation about not Joe Matarese. And he finally looks at me and goes, "Earl, it's time you come on the podcast." I'll never forget I froze. I'm like, okay, don't act too excited. This is my internal dialogue. I'm like, don't act too excited. Just be cool. Be cool. Not Jimmy and Joey. Hey, why don't Italians have necks? And he gives me his phone number, which if you know Joe, and so I'm assuming most of you don't, he don't give out his phone number to anybody. I mean, the nuclear codes are a more easier thing to get than Joe Rogan's home phone number. He says, call me tomorrow. We'll have Jamie set it up. So most comics would have called him before he left the driveway that night. But me being fucking nice, I was like, you know what? Excuse me. This isn't carbonated. Don't call him tomorrow. Give him one day off where someone's not asking him for help or something like that, call him in 2 days. It's almost like that scene in Swingers where they're talking about. Hold on, let me get to this before I forget. Jason Bentley, $4.99. The Midnight Express deserves to be in the Hall of Fame long before Sid and Luger. Sorry, not sorry. We'll get into that in 2 seconds, Bentley. So thank you very much. So the next day, day goes by. I don't call him. I wake up Thursday morning, Thursday afternoon, and I call him. And he picks up the phone. I'm like, hey, Joe, it's Earl. And he's like, hey, Earl, what's happening? I'm like, oh, not much. And then I could tell there was a delay on his part. And I started panicking. And I'm like, oh, fuck, he forgot. Because he probably was a little high when he asked me. And then I just panicked. I'm like, hey, my friend of mine was in a Pakistani prison for 3 years, kind of like that Midnight Run Brad Davis film. I think he'd be a good guest for you. And I think he took his number down. And I don't think the guy ever got on his podcast. Like Joe needed my help booking the podcast. Now, looking back, what I should have said was, hey, Joe, you told me to call you about getting on the podcast. Bingo, I'm on the podcast. So that is the time I blew my opportunity, because he hasn't asked me since. And he's had a lot of people on, and it's just like, fuck, man. So, that's... I would say it was it was a pretty big fuck up, to be honest with you, because I know that me and Joe would be a good interview. Because you know me, I'll say anything, and I keep it real. I name names, and I did blew it 100%. I was close with Brody. We weren't like best friends. Yeah, it's one of those things where, maybe, I get on Gutfeld eventually, and I'm sure Joe strikes me as the type who watches Fox News, and he sees me on, I should have Skakel on. I thought maybe he'd see me on Corolla. What was that, about a year and a half ago? Hey, I should have Earl on. It's just got to be one of those things. Or frankly, someone like Joey Diaz or Theo or whoever goes, hey, Joe, you should have Skakel on. He's funny, or whatever. So, yeah, I probably should. I probably should do that. Ever met Tim Heidecker? I have not. I know the name. I just don't know who he is. Yeah, I'm not doing the Dean Del Rey method of making it. I'm good. I like Burr, but, I'm not going to, like, suck up to a famous comic and look for table scraps after. I never went to East. I think the only. I don't think I ever saw an ECW show out here. I definitely went. I think I went to one of the last events at the Olympic Auditorium, which was an XPW show, and man, it was so fucking sad. There was I'm not kidding, there were maybe 100 people in the arena, if that. And it was so quiet in there, you could hear people talking across the arena. And I'll never forget, Sandman came out with Major Guns. I would go on Schaub's podcast. I wouldn't go if Callan was on it, but, I got no problem with Schaub. Now, that would be a really good interview, because I'm sure some fan would go, hey, ask him about what he thought about your special. And I would say I didn't like it. And then he'd go, well, where's your special, bitch? And then we could get into a dialogue about specials and, comedy and whatnot. And, I'm not intimidated by Schaub, because I know I'm not going to say anything that's going to make him angry, so he's not going to kick my ass, which he could. But, that would be a good interview. But I don't know if he would probably want a sidekick with him, because I'm too fat. Like Schaub could kick my ass. Humor-wise, I could kick Schaub's ass. So, but I would do it. I don't have a problem with the guy. No, that was a different one. That one, there was a fair amount of people there. I was at that one when New Jack tased Vic Grimes. KT can blow. Is that, do you mean Kill Tony? Yeah, but XPW was like, I always explain XPW. You got to Kip to people that XPW is like ECW with no budget or planning. Um, and I think XPW has stopped. I was at that one Terry Funk was at. I was at the LA Sports Arena, and it was Terry Funk and Sabu in the main event. And my biggest takeaway from that, and I remember it, was yeah, I would go on Jamie Kennedy's show. Was XPW had a tag team called the West Side um, Inwards, you know, with the AZ ending, and they had merch. Like it was like what? There's like little kids walking around with that word on their shirt. By the way, they were all out of my size. Hello. Um, yeah, I mean the Olympic Auditorium was classic. Now it's a Korean church. Um, I did paint my nails black once in honor of Steve Stevens. It looked great for about a week, but then it started chipping, and I'm like, I'm too late. I mean, Steve Stevens is all in on his look. Trust me on that one. Herb Abrams died doing what he loved. Yes, 100% there. He loved the yayo. I remember commercials for what was it, UHW or U? What was it? U something United Wrestling UWF United Wrestling Federation. Yes, Terry was in Roadhouse, and of course he was in Over the Top. Mr. Cutler is not done talking to you. Um, there's a lot of people in Roadhouse who you don't really remember. Keith David was a bartender in Roadhouse, but he wasn't really in it that much. He's more in the background. He probably did it for the paycheck. You know, he made Terry Funk and Keith David. They made the money, honey. Did you buy the Kamala belly shirt? I've had a few Kamala shirts. Yeah, John Doe was the main bartender there. Chi get the yayo. Hey, Ernie, you got that job, man. What about Ernie? Ernie, you want a job? Call me tomorrow. Hey, man, you got that job. I mean, you know, it's hard to go up against the WWE, WWF at that time. You know, you just have to, you know, it just, I mean, AEW is struggling and they're owned by a fucking billionaire. So even if you have the money, you got to have the planning. So, you know, someone like Herb Abrams who doesn't have the money and, you know, I mean, he did get like Steve Williams and a couple of, you know, Brian Blair. It's, you know, it's, you got to have so many things to go after the WWE because their production value is so good. I mean, I don't watch the product, but like I will say that, you know, their production and the wrestler entrances and the promos and the vignettes are just miles above where AEW is. Um, that's pretty funny, movie star. Black and blue. I don't know what you're really talking about. Well, New Jack headbutted me once when I was hosting a show at a bowling alley. New Jack just randomly showed up, and he stayed for the whole show. He sat in the front booth by himself. You know, he didn't really laugh a lot. And then at the end of the show, as I was getting off stage, he comes up to me. And he's a pretty intimidating guy. I mean, I was bigger than him, but like he obviously could kill me. And he just goes, "You a funny motherfucker," and just headbutts me, and then just left. Um, yeah, I don't watch a Bonfire or listen to Bonfire. Um, I don't really listen to podcasts or other comedy shows because I want to be on it. I don't want to listen to comics doing something I want to do. You know, I might be selfish in that regard, but you know, just it's honestly how I feel. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you know, it's uh, you know, I wish Jack Perry and CM Punk would have you know made money on that angle. Um, Yeah, I could see Ralphie and the twins doing a podcast. Um, well, I mean, when I met, I mean, I didn't really meet Terry Funk, but I was sitting in the front row for that XPW show. He looked pretty bad. But he went through the full match, man. I mean, him and Sabu went after each other hard, and it's like, man, they're not getting paid enough to do this shit at their age. Um, so I mean, those guys. I mean, you can you imagine what Terry Funk's brain looked like? You know, CTE. I mean, who's some hockey player? The results of their was it Bobby Hull? You know, who had a pretty fucking jacked brain from the concussions. Can you imagine what Terry Funk or Roddy Piper or Sabu's brain looks like? Uh, so what's good, Earl? Have a good day. Thank you, Luke. Everything's cool. You know, is it a cool stream tonight? Do about another 15 minutes. Not too many trolls in here, which, you know, I don't mind the trolls, but sometimes they do depress me. Uh, oh, okay. That'd be cool to see that. Um, yeah, I mean, Abdullah the Butcher, can you imagine all the headshots he took? Chair shots. I mean, if you look at some of the like the hardcore guys from the 80s that are still alive, um, you know, I mean, Magnum TA, although I've spoken with Magnum TA a few times, he seems pretty with it. I like this background. I wish I could keep this background. Um, if you message hell for review, this is usually a fun one. Yeah, I mean, he definitely the Parkers. You know, he wasn't for everyone. If you don't like the gory stuff with very little skill behind it, you're not going to like Abdullah the Butcher. But yeah, 100%. That's funny, Kim Smith. Um, you know, but Abdullah the Butcher, strangely enough, was pretty athletic. I mean, he was a legit karate guy when he was younger, not so fat. Is a special coming along? I mean, it's kind of on hold. You know, I'm just, you know, there's just nowhere interesting that speaks to me to do it. So yeah, Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin. But you imagine, yeah, he gave Hannibal Hep C. So yeah, hello. Um, I don't know. I mean, I've been concentrating more on hockey rumors right now. He probably had a heart attack and died, I would guess. I think he died a while ago. I mean, an Earl Netflix special would be nice. And the head of Netflix comedy knows who I am, but you know that's a thing where you know you got to get some heat behind you, maybe get on a cartoon or a TV show, and I mean, you know, I thought when I was on Roast Battle at the prime of the show, you know, and I went 4-1 on TV, and I was also on the Jellies, and I'm dying up here in Real Rob. I thought someone will give me a special. I mean, that's 4 fucking TV shows on the air at the same time, and you know, no, not really. So, um, you know, it's just I would love a Netflix special. I mean, that's you know, as soon as it airs, I'm playing theaters tomorrow. So, whereas now most clubs won't even call me back. Yeah, John Tenta was a big boy. Hey, let's get the 40 likes. Let's get the 50 likes in the next 10 minutes. We don't talk about Ray DeVito in here. I don't care if he's on. But thank you. You know, we don't do Dabbleverse. This is not a Dabbleverse wrap-up show. You know, this is just stream of consciousness. I don't interview other people from the Dabbleverse. I don't stream snipe people. Fuck that. The Jellies is still active. That was funny when Rude would do that. You know, it never got canceled. It's on HBO Max, Cartoon Network, and Adult Swim. Matter of fact, a few episodes just showed up on my TiVo, my DVR. So it's still played. Better wrestler, Tugboat or Typhoon? Well, Typhoon was Earthquake, right? I mean, Earthquake was a legit uh, judoka and sumo guy. So I would say Earthquake. Um, so yes, like a mania, Extreme Rules give you it's yours for the taking. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Black and Blue. Get a feature on Tyler. Yeah, I mean something like that. Like remember when Chris D'Elia did something on an Eminem song? Like if Tyler, said, "Hey, we need a deep voice for this song," that would be huge for me. Oh, earthquake and typhoon are different. Okay, I'm a little lost in the sauce on some of these guys. So hopefully the special this year. Yeah, Manny Fernandez. There were some great wrestlers in world class championship wrestling. The gentleman Chris Adams, Iceman King Parsons, Colonel De Beers just died, I think, a few months ago. Um, and who was the really good looking guy? He was like Gino Hernandez, who Ryan Nemeth played in um, the Claw movie. So yeah, getting back to that question about Tony Khan and CM Punk, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I can't imagine the Nip Ryan has enough money to go up against Tony Khan and CM Punk. So my guess is a suit will either be dropped or a very low ball settlement from Tony Khan. I like King Kong Bundy before they turned him into a buffoon. He kind of like had the same. He suffered the same fate as like Kamala when Kamala was a great fucking heel. And then they turned him into a cartoon character, and it was over. Um, yeah, I mean, some of those guys like Manny and others, who was it, Stan Hansen, and they work stiff. Vader is purportedly worked incredibly stiff. So yeah, I mean, I think once Bundy, I mean, Bundy was like, wasn't he the main event with Hogan in like WrestleMania 3 or something? And then the next year he got squashed for whatever reason, and it was just over after that. Um, yeah, I mean, he had a great look, but as soon as he started acting and stuff, um, I'll guess his heart wasn't really in the business. Oh yeah, I mean, yeah, main event WrestleMania 2, and you go from that to like a job match the next year. I don't know. He had a great look, could go for a guy his size. Some great big men in that era. Felicia. This is the legit Felicia. But you didn't have to do that. You're too nice. Felicia Gillespie, $5. Sorry, I forgot to respond to you checking in on me. Thanks for doing so. Well, I'm glad you're okay. And, everyone who has subscribed to my channel, go on over to Felicia's channel and help her build her channel and watch her lives. And go see her performing wherever she is performing at. She's awesome, and hope to meet you one day in person. And throw her a couple bucks too. You're very lucky, Felicia. So if you saw the footage of her crash, it's no joke. So everyone, check out Felicia, please. Is Hillbilly Jim in the Klan or in the CIA? He's probably in the Klan too. Yeah, who knows where he is? Yeah, eyes on the road, Gilly. But I've done the very same thing a few times. Hey, let's do a chat while I'm driving around. And I've come close a few times of driving into the center of the lane or whatever, and I stopped doing that. I mean, with my fucking vision, I mean, Felicia's vision's a lot better than mine. So, because there's that one, I don't know if it's a popular channel or not. I think it is, the LA Nightlife. The guy just drives around crime scenes. It's like total night crawler. And he must have a partner because, I would do that. But then you got to cut the partner in on the money. But they do, I think, fairly well. They average about 1,000 people in the stream, but not a lot of super chats. So I don't know if they make a lot of money. I sound like Kevin Brennan now, breaking down people's money. I'm legally blind and still drive. Well, that makes me feel special. Let me know if you're ever driving in Yes, AXN News. That is it. But they do it right. I mean, they have, I think, a police scanner, and they just go and drive around. But I think there's a partner who drives. I have no idea what's going on either, Adam. Good for you. If you find out, super chat me. Um, oh yeah, yeah. I love me some Showgirls. Tony Moss, he just died. Tony Moss from Showgirls just died. Paula Abdul and my show. I can do the scene where he introduces himself to the girls word for word. You think my Predator impressions are good? My Tony Moss impressions are even better. Don't ask me to do it because I'm not feeling it right now. Beetlejuice. Hey, Skake Master General, I watched you on a Kill Tony episode. Wait, what? And a comedian mentioned you showed your penis during another comedian's set, and everyone was laughing at your penis, but not at the comedian. That is true. No, EA Sports now has gone up to $5. I'm sorry. It's inflation. Eggs, gas prices, and my EA Sports impression. So I'll tell that story, and then we'll end the stream. I only do like hour streams, man. I can't do. Melton is unbelievable. He did a 7-hour stream the other night. I can't do that shit. Well, I'll end on that story, and then here's a quick Tony Moss impression for free. Now, this is probably a $10 to $20 impression, but I'm giving it to you for free. So this is the scene where Tony Moss introduces himself to the girls. Now, I'll even stand up and do it. Me. Marty, line them up. Hello, girls. My name's Tony Moss. I produce this show. Some of you may have heard I'm a prick. I am a prick. I can't use you if you can't dance. I can't use you if you can't smile. Marty, line them up. Jesus, Marty, take a look at these tits. This is the stage, babe, not a patch. See ya. I've seen you before. Yes, sir, Mr. Moss. You told me to get my nose fixed. I did. Very nice. But your ears are sticking out. Come back when you get them fixed. I bet you can't spell MGM backwards. Very good. Come back when you fuck some of this baby fat off. I hope you have some nice wigs, tennis ball. What kind of classes have you taken? Step, jazz, ballet, acting. The show's called Gladys. It ain't called classes. See ya. I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, sorry, I forgot one last line. What kind of classes have you taken? I'm watching you being a prick. You ain't seen nothing yet. That's Tony Moss, the choreographer from Showgirls. So, yes, Tom, a lot of people have been showing me the meltdown of Donnell Rawlings. I sent him a text saying thank you. Please, all right. I mean, that's at least a $10 penis story, but like, I'm in a good mood. Once again, go see Felicia's channel after that. Jordan's channel as well. Jordan is the best travel vlog in the fucking business. I mean, his channel is the complete opposite of mine. Well done, clips spliced together. So here's the penis story. So one night, there was a Sunday night show back in the day. I'm going to assume it's Felicia Gillespie. Felicia, if you're still here, feel free to put your channel name in here. And so there was a show on Sunday nights at the Knitting Factory in Hollywood, which I believe is now in LA Fitness. And Jordan is the best. And I will be at the October event, Jordan. And this show, Sunday night comedy show in the small room of the Knitting Factory, which was kind of like a punk rock club. They had a big stage where, like, I think one night the Insane Clown Posse played, and they had a lot of music acts there. And yes, please hit subscribe to Felicia's channel. Of course, after you hit subscribe on my channel. And it was a who's who of LA comics at the time. Nick Swartzen would play there, Ian Bagg, who else? Anthony Clark when he was on that TV show. Like it was a big, like it was scary because it was a very small room, and I would be up there and I would see Ian Bagg watching me, and he always intimidated me because he's so fucking funny. And you'd see Nick Swartzen looking at you like, all right, man, let's see what you got. Anthony Clark in between him picking up on young boys, of age but young. And so one night there was this comic by the name of Peter Prenz, maybe the worst comic I've ever seen in my life, and that's saying something given who I've worked with. And so I notice he's bombing. And I mean, listen, we all bomb. There's no big deal about that. But he was awful that night, just dying 1,000 deaths up there. So I saw a hole in the curtain. So I made like I was leaving, but right before you would leave, the stage entrance was to the left. So I snuck backstage. And I had heard his act so many times that I knew when the punchlines were coming, if you want to call them punchlines. And so when each punchline would hit, I would put my dick through the hole, and people were cracking up hysterics. Like he's killing all of a sudden, you know. And I did it with perfection because I'd heard the same set so many times. I knew exactly where he was going to stop for the punchline. So the next night we're at Ireland's 32, which is it's a cool Irish pub in the valley that had a good room on Monday nights at times. So he's doing the same set. Now I'm in the back playing the golf game. You know that golf game where you roll the ball to hit the ball, and I forget what it was called, but because he's bombing, I'm just going to play this game till I go on, and then he's bombing bad, like dead silence, and it was hard to get that room silent. I mean, because they had a dart game in the back, people from the bar weren't necessarily there for the comedy, so it was a very noisy room, and the whole room is silent. I mean, he is bombing. Yes, Golden Tee. That was the game. No, I think it's Burbank and Woodman. Um, so he comes up to me as I'm still playing Golden Tee, and he goes, "Skakel, I don't know what happened, man. I did the exact same jokes last night and got applause breaks." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't know either." And all the comics were laughing because they knew, they knew. Diddy, we don't do we're not freeing predators in this stream. That's go to the Ray DeVito stream for that. So that's the story about the Tony is a hack. Tony who? Please last names as well. Okay, well, Diddy, that's fine, but 105 accusers can't all be lying. Loved your did somebody die in the room? So thank you, some dude. Yeah, but getting back to a previous question, Hinchcliffe. I mean, a lot of people don't like him. A lot of people do like him. I mean, Kill Tony's playing arenas, so somebody thinks he's funny. That was pretty funny, Beetlejuice, to be honest with you. It's one of my funnier LA comedy stories. Oh, thank you, Riley. Lois is, she's pretty quiet right now, so I don't want to wake her up. But yeah, I mean, that's the kind of things we were doing at open mics back in the day. I mean, we were just kind of like, no one was really trying to make it back then. And I mean, I can't say I miss those days because I had absolutely nothing going on, but there was a lot more camaraderie back then. Like we had a circuit, Monday nights were the Ireland's 32. Tuesday nights was the Canoga Park Bowl. Wednesday nights was the Whiskey Bend. Thursday nights was the Unurban. Friday nights was the Hot Wired Cafe. Saturday nights was the Youth Hostel. And Sunday nights we'd try and get up at the Comedy Store. I mean, it was this, but I was a maniac back then. I mean, I would say my first um, 3 years in comedy, I was going up 3 times a night, 7 days a week. And even I want to get on an Adult Swim show too. And even when, like, say I went to go see Kiss in concert, I would stand by the exit. Say Kiss was playing Irvine, I'd go to the show, and I knew like Rock and Roll All Night would be the last song. So I would stand by the exit, watch the show, and then run to my car and drive an hour like a maniac to get to Van Nuys to do the Liquid Zoo. So, I just had an incredible work ethic. Which comedian that broke out into a superstar you're most surprised at? I mean, probably Kill Tony, to be honest with you. It's not necessarily Hinchcliffe, but the show. I mean, I remember the first Kill Tony I paneled on. I think it was me and Michael Costa. I mean, there was literally maybe 25 people in the room. I'm talking on the stage, the comics, the server. Like, it was not very well attended. And I think I remember at one point leaning into Michael Costa going, "This show sucks." If you would have told me after that show that night that, hey, in a couple of years, this show's going to sell out Madison Square Garden twice, I'd be like, "You're fucking nuts, bro." And I've seen shows blow up before. I mean, Roast Battle, if you would have told me after that first night when, Kenny Lyon and Josh Martin almost got into a fight, that this show's going to get 5 seasons on television, a documentary by Jason Reitman, a book that was a best-selling New York Times book about it, I'd be like, "You're fucking gone." So that's why, when people come up to me with an idea, I'm like, "Hey, man, any idea can make it. It just needs one person to believe in it." So, I mean, I'll give Tony that. I mean, and Red Band, I think, is the hidden key to that show. I mean, if you look at Red Band may be the GOAT of the podcast business. When you think that he helped start the Joe Rogan podcast, he helped start Kill Tony, and he also helped Your Mom's House with Tom and Christina. I mean, those are 3 of the biggest podcasts of all time, and they all have Red Band in common. So, I don't, I'm working on some things, and, that's usually a bullshit answer a comic will give. "Oh, I got some things in the works," and they don't have shit. But, I'm trying to get on Gutfeld and a couple other things that, it just goes back to having one person believe in you and make it happen. I texted Darnell because I have his phone number, and, I won't say what I told him, but it's more or less, "Thank you for sticking up for people like me." And I mean, Red Bar's an innovator. A lot of people don't like him, but he's innovated basically the podcast world of trolling other podcasters. I mean, really, no one does it better. And Melton's in the discussion in terms of that. I mean, Melton is the one who helped Burr and Marin how to podcast. Not really. I mean, I want to be known for being funny, not because, Earl got on the show because of his uncle. I mean, in hindsight, I probably should have played it up a little more, but it's just not who I am. Yeah, I mean, Tim Dillon is a killer. Do you think Theo Von is overrated? No. I mean, his fans love him. Oh shit, a little all hell's breaking loose. I can do that rap. Red Bar loves me. I mean, he never goes after me, but I'm not big enough to go after. Street Hustler comes up to me one day while I'm minding my own business, and he looks me up, he looks me down, and says, "Hey, man, what be this, and what be that, and why do you gotta look like that?" I just kind of looked at him and said, "Hey, man, that ain't cool. I had to breathe. All hell's breaking loose. Hey, hey, have you heard the word? Don't fuck with me, bro." Yeah, Carl is definitely an innovator, if you will, in the podcast wars style of podcasting. And Kevin Brennan has perfected the art of making money. So, I mean, what Kevin does is something I don't do. Like, Kevin won't read virtually no free questions. It's all super chats. Someone could send a free question of, "Hey, Kevin, your brother's much funnier. He won't read it." And they get so angry and annoyed that he won't read it, they super chat him $5. "Hey, Kevin, your brother's much funnier." And then he'll read it. So, you know, hey, hey, have you read the news? All hell's breaking loose. And part of me is like, maybe I shouldn't read the trolls. And then it infuriates them and then they'll super chat me. But like I said, I don't really do the stream for money. The $31 I've made tonight, and thank you to all the people who have done it, is really just a bonus. I like talking to fans, so I don't know if Tim Dillon's gay or not. I mean, I personally think he is. I've seen him only with dudes, but I don't care one way or the other. I do it for the love of the game, and it is nice to get paid. Like William Zoom said it the best. I'm a bartender, and people tip me. So I do enjoy. I don't think people sometimes get the stream in terms of what it's about. Like, I don't do jokes on the stream, because then it's like, well, if Earl does jokes here, why the hell would we want to go see him? We could just wait till the next stream. Now, some people would argue, no, you do a few jokes in the stream, people like them, and then they'll go see you. That's true too, but I just don't do it that way. Um, well, because the funniest, and I told someone the other night, if I booked a late night TV show in terms of the comics, I would book people you've never heard of before because they are the funniest. Jason Galern, probably most of you have never heard of Jason Galern. He's probably the funniest guy I know. Um, I don't know. It's just most comics who are really funny, they're artists. They do it for the love of the game. They sit there and write jokes and work on them and craft them. They aren't great at social media. And there's nothing wrong with being great at social media. I don't hate on Matt Rife at all. I mean, the guy figured out the fucking algorithm on YouTube, and the guy's playing theaters. So, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to figure out the algorithm. And once I hit it, hopefully, I don't have any illusions of, hey, maybe I'll be the new Mr. Beast. But, build a small following. I mean, Tim Dillon and Eric Griffin told me one night, they were talking, and I was in the back waiting to go on because I was next. So they included me in the conversation. They're like, Earl, all you need is 2,000 fans and you'll be famous. Now, what's famous? Famous is different to everyone. So, I mean, but I like most of the people in here. Well, 100% Dominic. I'm not, I don't grift for money on here. I mean, that's another thing I don't like. Dane, yeah, I mean, Dane was, I don't hate on him either. I mean, he's just been a dick to a lot of people that came back to bite him. What up? Wow, I got a sister in Washington State. Only 1959 away. I don't know what that means, to be honest with you. From $50? No, the fires are still not going, ours, thank God. I don't really know much about Kanye West. I don't really have an opinion on him. He's worth a deuce. Do 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 do. Get up and get your grandma out of here. Do 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 do. Pick up. Old Jim is working hard this year. Do do. Sorry. But, well, I mean, the truth is the best form of humor. Um, Yes, well, I don't want to say where my sister lives, but she lives by the Vancouver border. Got a lovely farm, lovely mom, lovely wife. So, you know, I mean, everyone streams for different reasons, I guess. Yes, my sister is doxxed, but none of you know her name, so it's all good. Yeah, I mean, Rodney was clean, Foster Brooks was clean. I mean, Don Rickles was clean, but it was kind of shocking. Like he'd skirt the line of over the line. Your man is working hard this year. So, you know, Rodney lived dirty as hell. Yeah, I mean, I met him once at the gym I worked at. I was in the cover booth, and he was like digging through the trash, Like, it was weird. He almost looked homeless. I'm like, "Hey, Rodney, how come you didn't do Caddyshack 2?" And he just looked at me. He goes, "I didn't fucking want to." I'm like, "Okay, cool." Shelley Skakel. No, that's it could have been Shelley Skakel, but we dated for 6 years, and then we still talk though. I'm cool with most of my exes. Does Caparulo ever play Comedy Store anymore? No, he does. He's like a Vegas freak now. I think his home base is Wise Guys, but Wise Guys. I don't know how they're still in business. You know, I mean, like Paulie told me, he gave me the booker and owner's number. Said, "Hey, call them. Tell them I'm vouching for you." And they blew me off. Didn't get back to me at all. And then that same week, I saw they were literally headlining an open mic comic. So good luck with that. No, Leslie Jones is not my sister. Um, was he nice to you, ACDC? I mean, maybe I caught him on a bad day. I don't know. Gigi Allen. I mean, he kept it real. He kept it 100, as the kids say. We don't talk about Ray DeVito in here. He's live right now. Just go talk to him. We don't dabble in Ray DeVito. We'll do 3 more minutes, guys. 3 more minutes. Let's try and get to 70 likes. Let's just fucking bust a nut and get to 70 likes. Gigi absolutely worked dirty. 100%. There. Leo Gunn. We've got a Dabbleverse legend in the house. Hold on. I've got to do some house cleaning right now. I'm getting a text from the Comedy Store. So let's take care of business. Let me conduct some business. All right. You guys talk amongst yourselves for 2 seconds while Daddy conducts some business. You know what I'm saying? Well, they probably don't, because Roast Battle is tonight, and although I am on a lot of shows with Jeff, I just think that they would prefer me to not intermingle with Jeff, which I'm okay with that. And a lot of people ask me, what's it like when you and Jeff are up there? It's not that bad for me. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I've never said anything that I didn't mean about Jeff. So, he just kind of stares at me. Like, I was talking to this hot girl the other night, and, Jeff walked by, and you could tell he was bothered that I was talking about her. And it's just like, dude, who cares? Like, you're a big famous comic. I'm sure you could get some punani. But that's, what are you going to do? By the way, I was in my building today. As you guys know, I am the only straight man in my building. And about noon or 1 p.m., I go to take the trash out. And there were these 2 girls. I'm going to guess they were around 18. They could have been younger. I don't know who they were. I've never seen them in the building before. But Jesus, man. If I was their dad and saw the bikinis they were wearing, I'd have a coronary. Muscle Dad, $2. Eating real big in the neighborhood. Thank you, Daddy. Is it Ric Flair's birthday today? Interesting. Thank you, Muscle Dad. I appreciate that. I ain't no girly man. I'm a man, man. Oh yeah, I mean, last night I was getting a lot of trolls, and my offer I made last night, which stands. If anyone who thinks I'm not funny, and that's fine if you don't, come to the Comedy Store any night I'm working. I'll be there this Saturday night, and I'll give you 5 minutes of my stage time, and I'll give you the greatest intro you've ever given. I'm not going to sandbag you. I'm going to give you a great intro, and I guarantee you won't last the 5 minutes. You won't last 2 minutes. Oh, interesting. Yeah. I did not do stand up in the 90s. Well, I take that back. I may have started in 99. Um, so, yeah, I mean, Jay Johnson, a road man. I don't block the trolls because I have met Andy Dick. I punched him at the Comedy Store one night. The Comedy Store is in West Hollywood, 8433 Sunset. Um, yes, the dog is coughing a little bit tonight, but not quite as much. Oh my God, I've already gone into overtime. I tell you what, we'll go to 90 minutes and then I got to go. So 90 minutes, guys. We're going into overtime. Message held for review. That is always scary. He probably did. I heard Andy Dick got Phil some booger sugar that night, and that was the start of the problems. Where's Barry Diamond or Sobel? Barry Sobel is probably at the Universal Bar and Grill picking up on young comics. Yeah, I mean, Comedy Central in the mid 90s could really break a comic and then not so much anymore. I'm not going to lie. When I got on Comedy Central 5 nights and 6 days on Roast Battle, I thought I'm going to be famous, and not really. It was a big wake-up call. So, I mean, getting on any TV show is really what you make of it. Hey, since I'm doing an extra 8 minutes, can we get to 80 likes for 8 minutes, 8 more minutes? I mean, that's pretty fucking dope of you guys if you do it. Well, I don't get the McRib humor on here. It seems to be a running theme last night and tonight. John Lovick beat up Andy Dick because of Hartman. I mean, Andy Dick grabbed my dick once and I punched him at the Comedy Store. Yeah, nothing's what it used to be. I mean, and not even getting on late night TV. I mean, I would still like to do a spot on The Tonight Show or Fallon. I mean, I'm not in a position where I can turn down shit like that, but I knew I did a show the other night at a fucking shitty booked show where the person who went on before me had just done The Tonight Show, and they the hockey game just turned on. Timeout. You guys talk amongst yourselves for 2 seconds. Yes, we are in the darkness now, baby. Pause the overtime. No. You have a killer hangover. Mac Ryan, come on now. Let's not dominate the chat with your boozing. You should have modeled yourself after more. Yeah, Byron Allen. You talk about a guy who's killing it. He is killing it. Who the Kings playing? The Kings are not playing tonight. They had a big game last night when they had a 4-goal third period, beat the Vegas Golden Knights 5-2. Tomorrow night they play. Who do they play tomorrow night? I think Vancouver, so that should be a good game. Yeah, I mean, Byron Allen is loaded. His mom used to live in the building I lived in Century City. And I used to see him. I could never get on Comics Unleashed. Isn't that crazy? Hold on, Jeremy Japan. Brody Stevens stories are $10. I'm sorry. I have to, I'm sorry. I don't know. I could never get on the show. It's like, Leo Gunn, $2. You better watch out because I'm a war machine. Wanna bite the hand that feeds me, do 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 do. Wanna turn the tide, do 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 do. Set the demons free and watch them fly. You better watch out, do 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 do. Cause I'm a war machine, do 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 do. There's a very good version of that. Sung by the guy who wrote the song, Bryan Adams. So if you go on Spotify, check out Bryan Adams' War Machine and Rock and Roll Hell, which he also wrote for Kiss with his writing partner, Jim Balance. Best Brody Stevens story. 4 more minutes, guys. 4 more minutes. I would say it's probably the first time I ever saw Potluck, and Brody was hosting. And there was this guy bombing, young kid bombing. And once again, it's all good when you bomb. We all bomb. And I can't do a good Brody impression, but so the kid gets off stage and he knew he bombed. He kind of has head down, shoulder slumped, and Brody from the side mic, which is where the piano player is, says, "Where are you from, kid?" And the kid kind of looked back at Brody and said, La Jolla. And Brody was like, "Well, that drive just got a lot longer." And that was my first impression of Brody. I thought, wow, this guy's a dick. So that's, many Brody stories, but that's probably my favorite one. And, I talked to Brody the night he killed himself at the Comedy Store in the hallway. So, any Bobby Lee stories? Not really. I mean, me and Bobby Lee share the same birthday, but we've never really done the road together, or we've been on lineups at the Comedy Store, but we've never really hit the road together or interacted outside of the Comedy Store. Brody was supposed to be a guest on my podcast the day he killed himself, and it's pretty funny. Obviously I didn't know, Brody didn't show up, so I was kind of mad. I hate flakes. So I left him a message on his machine. "Hey, motherfucker, at least you could do is call me if you're not going to show up, you fucking dick." And I hung up. And then a couple months later, I was opening up for Dr. Ken at some casino in San Diego. And Will Sasso is funny, and he's a great guy. And Brody's sister was there, and she came backstage after the show. And, we both started crying because, Brody meant a lot to me. And she, to kind of break the tension, was like, "Hey, Earl, just so you know, I heard that message." So let's get to 80 likes, man. I feel like Kevin Brennan and Steel Toe begging for likes or whatever. 34 people in here. I know all of you haven't hit the like button. I am ending this stream at exactly 90 minutes. Will Sasso's Jesse Ventura is the best. Maybe second only to Karrion Kross. I do know Howie Kramer. We've done a few shows together at Third Wheel. And I have met Norm Macdonald, great guy. Saw him go up at the Comedy Store one night about 2 a.m. in front of nobody, and he killed. I used to listen to Steel Toe a lot. I had a very set schedule where I'd listen to Shuley and Melton in the morning, a little bit of Steel Toe, and then Kevin in the afternoon. And then I really only listened to Melton a little bit and MLC. I don't know. I'm sick of the subject matter. Well, thank you. It's an honor to be put in with those guys. 20 more seconds, guys. You remember when Michael Richards had a meltdown? Michael Richards was a comic actor. I don't really like William Montgomery, to be honest with you. Nothing personal. Just, you like what you like. I think he's funny for a couple minutes, and then it's like, okay. It's nothing personal. Comedy is subjective. I don't like most of the Kill Tony comics, to be frank. I love Jamar. Jamar makes me laugh. When he starts selling art on stage, I've seen Jamar Neighbors make $1,000 on stage because he brings his art, which is really good, actually. And, he's kind of got that Andy Kaufman shtick going. Hey, let's get one more like, guys. So, Michael Richards, long story short, we'll end on him. He's a comic actor. And, I've been on a lot of film sets and TV shows and whatnot, and everything is orchestrated to get a laugh. So, on Seinfeld, it was like, okay, Michael, Jerry's going to come in, he's going to say a line, then Jason Alexander's going to say something, then the girl with the curly hair, Julia Dreyfus, she's going to say something, and it's all building to you walking in the door going, "Ugh!" and the laugh will be there. And if it doesn't work, we'll shoot it again. But stand-up comedy, it's live, baby. It's in the flesh. So it's when you're getting heckled, his biggest mistake was he didn't let the crowd know what was going on, because I performed at the Laugh Factory a bunch. The hecklers were in the balcony above his left shoulder. So someone who's in the far right corner of the room isn't necessarily hearing the heckler. And Michael Richards just, he could have got, the key with getting heckled is you got to get the audience on your side. You got to roll with the adversity, but you got to let the audience know, hey, you guys have paid a lot of money to hear me do jokes, not those two. Like, if that were me, I would have said something to the effect of, hey, I can't hear you guys. You're sitting in the fucking cheap seats. Automatically, the crowd's on my side. Something like that. Like this Saturday at the Comedy Store is a sold-out show. There were 2 people in the front row to my left, stage right, but my left. And I guess it would be stage left. I don't know. I was never good at directions. And they were disruptive, but they weren't really loud. So I had to slowly let the crowd know, hey, these guys are disturbing me. And in turn, that means you guys are getting disturbed. And once I made that known, the crowd loved it whenever I would shit on these 2 people. And then they were a very attractive couple. You could tell they had money. I think they got a Rolex on. I know the deal. I know who I'm fucking with. So, Earl. We don't dongbat. We don't do a Dabbleverse stuff in here. This isn't a Dabbleverse wrap-up show. And when someone tells me a comic is a rapist, it's like, why don't you tell me today's day ends in Y? It's not really surprising to me, especially given some of the people I fucking worked with. Hey, if I do a 24-hour stream right now, we'll just start doing it. Can we get to 100 likes in the next minute? No, I'm just kidding. Oh yeah, I mean, well, it's funny you say that. So after the show, now I did about 40 minutes, and you guys know me, I'm honest. I won't say I was killing, but I was doing very well. You'll see in the next few weeks when I release the clips from this particular show. They came up to me afterwards and said, hey, good job. I forget their exact words, but like, we really helped. I just looked at them and go, fuck off. You didn't help shit. And then I just turned around and left. So, all right, Dungbat, we're ending the stream now, so you can go to the Ray DeVito show and hit the links, hit the clips, go on Doom's channel, go on all those other Dabbleverse freaks. TB, I don't know if I'm going to do another stream tonight. I mean, tonight was pretty good. Pretty good crowd in here. So, yeah, no Ray DeVito here. We don't talk about Chad. We don't talk about Steel Toe and Mersh and all these other characters. There's about 47 podcasts that cover that shit. This ain't one of them.